Hello and welcome to episode 133 of the MisanthroPod. I'm actually Snipe this time, and I am joined by the lovely Wib. Say hello.
Hey.
I'm also joined by the totally bodacular Drummond Matthew. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you lovely gents this fine day?
Fine.
Did you miss me?
Yeah.
Ah, I missed you guys too. Even though I live with one of you, but it's different.
But yeah, doing okay. You doing okay, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good. We're recording this on Wet Leg Day, so I'm very happy.
Wet leg!
Oh, has that come out today?
The album launched today. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
my physical copy doesn't arrive until tomorrow, apparently, because...
Because the world is unfair.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone should go listen to Wet Leg. Very funny, weird music will get stuck in your head all day.
What's the album called?
Wet Leg. Because
Wet Leg.
If you've got a band name that good, why think of a new album name?
Why would you not just put that everywhere?
That is 100% fair. I will go and listen to that later then.
You should.
Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. My voice might be a bit weird because I've had a sore throat for the past 3 weeks, and it's only just started getting a little more tolerable.
It's fractionally better.
Yeah, so I've been. It's not been fun. It's been difficult getting work done and stuff. And poor old Wib's been in the editing dungeon listening to my raspy voice and trying to get me in a position where I actually can do my voice lines has been quite tricky. But yeah,
Just having to work out ways of lubing up your throat.
Yeah, I used to have a real wet mouth.
And you've tried just chugging industrial-sized barrels of lube, but that's not doing anything.
No, but I can fit literally anything in my mouth now.
Yes, it is true.
So that's pretty fun.
You're like the Kirby swallowing the car.
Yeah, but for sex reasons.
Okay, I was going to leave that unsaid, but fair enough. That's your choice.
This is my first episode back for a while, so I am going to open with I'm going to vor a car.
Yeah,
I only got $20 in my pocket,
and it is a sex thing.
And it is a sex thing. In brackets, winky face, gone sexual, as the title would fucking suggest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a little bit of house cleaning to get to.
Okay, so first off, as it was mentioned, by the time you hear this, new Codex Compliant will finally be out. It took a long time to come out this time, not least because so we ended up having to sort of, as a short notice emergency, had to spend half a week looking after my mum's dog at their house. So kind of house sitting / dog sitting.
How was that? I saw the pictures on the Twitter.
Oh, they gave me access to their liquor cabinet.
Ooh.
You drank a lot of Baileys.
I drank the rest of their Baileys. I drank another, because that's if you put milk in it, it just dilutes it. So I was just sat there drinking Baileys, watching Judge Judy until 4 a.m. and falling asleep on the couch with the dog.
Yeah.
It was fucking great, mate. I regret nothing.
You will have people will have seen the dog in the video that we just put up, because if you're with a dog, you're going to find some way of inserting them into your content.
She is a wonderful little dog.
And Rana is absolutely lovely.
She's an absolute darling.
But that took out it suddenly shunted back the schedule for getting everything sorted by half a week. Then we both got ill.
But we both got ill with different
things at the same time, when neither of us could really talk, and so that just felt terrible for several. I felt
it was it wasn't COVID because we checked, but it was flu-esque, kind of you just feel exhausted, and everything is just busted. And you're gonna die. And then the house is on fire.
Yeah, and then
the usual.
By the time that I was well enough to start work again,
my throat started getting worse.
Your throat got way worse, and you weren't able to record any of your stuff for codex compliance.
Well,
so...
I mean, I did my lines like a couple of days ago, and literally half of it is just incredible, like uncomfortable ASMR of me like swallowing noisily.
It's really not that bad.
Well, I'm literally just like.
I'll be interested to see if anyone can tell. I mean, the big thing is that
Don't go back and say you can tell after listening to this, because we know you're a little liar. Not impressed.
But yeah, so it was really like, although like we did record a bunch of mailbag videos in the brief periods where you were able to do something.
Yeah, turns out opening presents is a great motivator.
It is, yeah.
And you've received some ridiculous stuff. Gotta say,
We have.
Oh yeah.
It's people have been incredibly generous, and like just like the like there's people who sent us like handmade gifts, which is just like Jesus Christ. Like, and there's like the packaging. I'm gonna sound like a mum on Christmas, but literally like we've got things with like wax seals and shit on it. It's amazing. It's
No,
like
it's-
everyone's. It honestly, like for our last mailbag, I think we made 5 videos in its entirety for its run there.
Yep.
And this time, when we've already hit 5 videos, and it's not. I don't even know how long it's been. Maybe it's been at least a couple of days.
It's been a month and a bit.
Yeah. So it's just like, whoa, okay.
And we had that open for 6 months before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I bring it up, aside from say, thank you everybody, is to say that the mailbag videos, there's one that'll be going up next week. Well, when you're hearing this,
It's already too late.
if you're hearing this at the time it comes out, it'll be next week, I think.
If you're hearing this as we're recording it, how the fuck are you doing
Yeah,
that?
what are you doing? How are you doing that? Please get out of our fucking flat. But
They've been hiding behind the washing machine.
But
again.
after that one goes up, we've got 2 more recorded, and they'll be going up at nebulous times as going forward.
We're spacing them out.
Yeah, because we don't want to just unload them, and for that reason, the ones after the next 3, because they're already recorded, are going to be a lot longer. Because just to make it so the channel isn't completely dominated by him. We kind of have. We're going to have to like make. It was either we put out 1 a week or we make bigger episodes, and I think that's the more sensible way of doing it. Because otherwise, I can understand people getting a bit sick of like, oh, the new video, oh, it's a mailbag video, and if you're not interested in that, which we can see from our analytics, not it's not the biggest thing we do. Like, I could understand that wearing on people, so we're trying to make things all as nice as sensible as possible, whilst dealing with the most first world problems of that people are too nice to us.
yeah, right.
Yeah. It's so hard. Oh. But no, we're very grateful. And so yeah, we're spacing those out just so it's not a massive mailbag dump. And yeah.
And that's that kind of housekeeping I had to do. I know that you had a little bit to do as well.
Oh yeah, I have a little bit to say.
Hey, it's Editing Whip here. We just wanted to put a quick content warning here because the next segment contains a frank discussion of mental health, including self-harm. So if you don't have the spoons for that right now, that's totally fine. Skip forward to about 18 minutes and you'll go past the whole thing. Cheers.
So eagle-eyed, eared, and just vague...
Nosed?
And just eagles.
Just eagles, explicitly. Tobias specifically, we love you, come home. That's a very specific reference.
Yeah, it is, yes.
I have been absent from basically all the live streams and the podcast the past couple of months.
Yeah.
I think. And I wanted to just kind of, for the sake of transparency and kind of just normalizing the discussion of mental health troubles, I wanted to talk, not like go into in-depth or anything, but just kind of touch on like what's been happening and why I've been off. Basically, a few months ago, my mental health just completely fucking crashed. I've been having a lot of trouble being taken seriously by the NHS and to get my almost certain ADHD diagnosed, the waiting list for a lot of these things is just whenever. Like, they can't give you a time.
Between COVID
and the government just tearing chunks out of it. Like, my brother has offered to pay for me privately to get a diagnosis. That's how much it's been fucking me up. My brother has been officially diagnosed with ADHD and has been responding very well to his medication. And him and his girlfriend were like, look, we can tell, because a big part of ADHD, for a lot of people who might not know, is what is referred to as executive dysfunction, which, again, I don't have a formal diagnosis, so I'm not going to sit here and go, I absolutely have it, but it is incredibly likely that I have it. Executive dysfunction is just not being able to do things, even things you want to do. It is nothing like laziness. It is like you lay in bed for an hour screaming at yourself to get out of bed and you just can't. Or you really want to watch a new TV show that all your friends really like and you just cannot bring yourself to do it. Or, it's things like that. And I suffer very heavily from that kind of thing. So, with work, it's a problem. So I've been, trying to get the NHS doctor, the free healthcare doctor, to say that they will enter into what is referred to as a shared care agreement with the private practice that I would be diagnosed by, which basically means I wouldn't have to pay £300 a month to get my blood tested and pay for my private prescription. And every single time they've told me no, they've fucked me around. It's been an absolutely agonizing year and a half for that kind of shit. It's been going on for a long time, and I'm not angry at the individuals because, the NHS is pushed to its absolute fucking breaking point, and I know that no one in particular is trying to spite me, but it still makes you feel like you're just being mushed up in the cogs. And that's kind of been really getting to me amongst some other depression kind of esque things. And it came to a head a couple of months ago where I don't think I'd slept in a week and a half. Not for more than an hour. Because I was just so depressed and just feeling shitty. And I remember it was midnight or something, and Wib was going to go to bed, and I was like, I know for a fact if you go to bed, I'm probably going to hurt myself, and I don't know if I have the strength not to. Because a month prior to that, I did have to go to A&E with a pretty severe self-injury and get treatment, which was so fun. And yeah, so I walked into A&E and I stayed there for 8.5 hours, which honestly I needed to do. I actually got spoken to by the mental health team, and they did help me out and gave me some resources, but again, they're stretched so fucking thin that you do still feel completely worthless a lot of the time, But I think it's worse that it's not, that it's indirect and nothing to do with you. I think if they were actively being like, no, we hate you in particular, you'd actually be like, okay.
If it was personal, you'd know how to react.
I'd know how to react, but yeah. So, and I've been getting better. I got an increase in my antidepressant prescription. And yeah, it feels weird saying all that to a bunch of people I have never met, but I just kind of want to say that, yeah, that's why I've been away, and I have been gradually getting better. I'm going to be assessed for some therapy. Towards the end of this month, I'm having a video call with a therapist to kind of see what needs I have vis-a-vis my depression and anxiety. And that's positive, and I'm just I'm doing little bits that are making my life a little bit easier. Like, I'm going out even though I feel like I'm going to die. And I'm slowly starting to get back into podcasting, live streaming, like doing work and doing things that I do enjoy, but it's hard to do. I mean, with mental health, it's really frustrating because it's hard to explain to someone who maybe doesn't have the perspective of someone who's gone through that kind of stuff. So if you know, is the thing. So, and I just wanted to say, you know, I had some very ugly cries at A&E with the doctors. And it helped. It's like the first guy who saw me, he like put his hand on my shoulder and was like, I'm really glad that, you know, you chose to come in. That was really important. And it really fucking was.
Yeah.
And like, if anyone feels like that, where they feel like they aren't safe on their own, like, please, I'm begging you. Like you can walk into like an emergency room and just go, yeah, I'm feeling suicidal. And I feel unsafe. And what they'll do is they'll probably take you into a side room. They'll ask you if you have anything sharp on you, and or like anything you can hurt yourself with. They do take that stuff off you. You can get it back, but they didn't give me mine back, and I was like, whatever, that's fine. But yeah, just please know that this is a common thing and it's not something to be ashamed of. And yeah, it fucking sucks. And just know that, yeah, I understand how shitty it is and you deserve help. And now I'm probably going to ruin all that by talking about Pedro Pascal. Thank you very much for letting me get that off my chest.
No, that's
it's not exactly fun. It's not a fun subject, but it is something that needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to be said, you know. And if you're comfortable, like talking about it, I think you always should, because not only does it help you, it helps other folk as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, sorry for monopolizing so much time.
No.
I mean, away from talking about how amazing Pedro Pascal is.
Oh, okay.
So people are like, finally, let's get to the Pedro shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think about how I could end that.
It's fine. Shall we awkwardly segue into the main bulk of the podcast? Then?
I think we absolutely should. So, Wib, what video games have you been playing, honey?
Video games, you say?
Videoed games.
Okay. Yeah, video games. Those are a thing I play. So...
I mean, you're a fucking liar. None of us play video games.
I mean, in terms of raw hours, I've probably played more in the last, month or couple of months than I have in a long time. But
I mean, you have been bit by the Satisfactory bug.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's nearly all the same game.
I mean, if you're enjoying it, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, so I'll sort of... I'm 99% sure I talked a bunch about Satisfactory on the last podcast. But yeah,
I wouldn't know.
I mean, apparently neither would I. So.
None of us remember the content. Like, that's the only problem when we do these like a month apart. None of us remember shit about the last episode.
No. You know what's funny? I was talking to our dear friend Longfang, friend of the channel and of our meat soners that we have.
Hate that.
Yeah. It was like a good couple of weeks ago. I was like, I got drunk, and I was talking to him the next day because I was like talking to him while I was like I was a bit buzzed. And then he was like, oh, I talked to you about this last night. And I'm like, I don't remember that. He's like, because you were pissed. And I'm like, no, my memory is just that bad. I won't remember this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, what? Fucking, we have a podcast? Matt who? And that's the one I'm married to. I couldn't forget Drummer Matt.
I'm just some dude, and you're like, there's this guy in my house.
I live with this hot guy, and he's just kind of there. And like, that's
not
cool.
complaining, but
I'm not complaining, but it's just like, hi. Hi, nice to meet you.
Evidently, I can see from your ring you're married.
Oh, that's a shame. But they're a lucky individual, huh?
Satisfactory then.
Tell us about it.
It's a game where you build factories.
Oh wow, that's fucking great. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
And I've been playing it on stream with Longfang. That's sort of one of the things we've been doing, like, because he's been, he's been filling in for Snipe in Snipe's absence.
Yeah, and honestly, he's got such a nice voice.
oh, he really does.
He really does. Oh my god! Like,
It's going to make you feel uncomfortable now, Longfang.
hey, Longfang, we like your voice. To be fair, I remember talking to Ruth, Drummer Matt's tantalizing partner. That sounds weird to say. Can you apologise to her for me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks. And she was like, Longfang, he's got that really nice voice, doesn't he? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's also available for commissions.
He is.
He's in our latest Codex compliant, and literally every time we watch through to, like, see if there was, like, a problem with the rendering or whatever, I would literally just go, God damn, Longfang's voice is great. Because,
But yeah, so we've been playing Satisfactory together, and what I was doing was, in between streams, was I would be doing lots of like the little busy work on it, because like any game like that where it's, you know, when you played like the old Tech-It mods in Minecraft, like there's the stuff that you do that's like big and exciting of building the big things, but then there's a lot of like just fiddly getting things working or
there's
optimizing.
a lot of, it's like being in a band. Like 20% of it is like actually doing the cool building stuff. The rest of it is gathering resources and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like being called racial slurs by sound guys or something.
I don't think that ever happened to us.
Well, not in Tech-It, probably.
I'm very confused as to where the reality and metaphor are meeting here.
The metaphor? I don't know what the fuck that is.
What? Okay, I'm just moving on.
Yeah.
The other day, we actually, for want of a better term, beat Satisfactory.
I was going to say, can you finish it? What is there, like an end game type?
There is a final phase.
Yeah.
And it took, I'll put it this way, this was the first save that we'd made, so we were learning about the game as we went, because we didn't look stuff up, we were sort of like figuring stuff out as
like
we
organically.
Went. Yeah, it's
ironically, seeing as you're making factories and shit.
It's not a it's not a game that like is obtuse in like what it wants from you generally. So you know you can figure this stuff out. It's not like it tells you what you need, so you can do it.
Yeah.
So it took us a while. So I think the finals thing was like 220 hours. I think the save
is that all.
What is the object? Are you like trying to escape the planet or something? Is it one of those type things?
You're supplying parts to a space elevator.
Okay.
And there's multiple phases of that, and the final phase takes fucking ages. And as you go through the phases, you're unlocking more stuff to play with, and we got to the end. I'd literally played it for something stupid like 100 hours on my own time, in between like the stream before and then this stream, so that I could get that final big chunk. 'Cause that takes so much longer than everything else in the game. And so we finally beat it, and we saw the wondrous reward that you get.
I'm just thinking of the Monkey Island like ending where they're like watching fireworks. It's like, yeah, you know what I've learned? Never pay, like, full price for a video game.
No, what happens at the very end is, skip forward, like, 30 seconds if you don't want to know. You unlock a Employee of the Planet mug that you can then buy.
that is such a fucking perfect like encapsulation of capitalism.
Yep.
You spend hundreds upon thousands of hours, and they're like pizza day, and it's like they take it out of your wages.
Yep. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You have to buy it with your own tokens as well.
That is wow. I'm reminded of there was like someone who was like, I put in my notice today, because we all got like a $30 gift card for some fucking I don't know where, which we were all super stoked about, and then we realized that they'd taken it from our Christmas bonus, and it's like, oh fuck you.
Yeah.
So basically, unionize.
Yeah.
Solidarity with the workers.
So that's that took an ungodly amount of my spare time and stream time doing that, but we finally beat it. I now knowing how the game works in a much more in-depth way, I have already started a new save which will be played on my off time, although I did actually play the first part of it on a random stream in the middle of the day, because
you got the itch to stream.
So, I will be starting another save and seeing if I can do it a lot more quickly and efficiently. So I guess Satisfactory is just my life now.
You need to buy that mug
Yeah.
way quicker.
There is a hidden thing
Do not place
that I'm
the finger.
trying to unlock on the original save as well, which is we couldn't do on stream because it took too many of the special tokens, and I need to save up the tokens, which you get by arcane means that I won't go into. But I'll be putting that on Twitter whenever I manage to unlock that final little thing.
I like the whenever. Like it's an inevitability that you're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. I'll put it this way. You need 50 tokens to do it, and I'm currently I think 39. So
Okay.
So, yeah.
39 after 220 hours.
In one save, dude.
No, I've had hundreds and hundreds of tokens because you spend them on lots of different things.
Okay.
It's just, I didn't have a bulk of them at the end to buy this thing.
Okay.
So
You shouldn't have spent on that fucking mug, you loser.
the mug cost 1 credit.
That feels like
what I
it's too
spent
much.
it. What I shouldn't have done is spent it on a statue of a pig.
Yes, you should have.
And I wish
And
that.
also,
I wish that was a joke.
That
but it's
was
not.
that's the former Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher.
I thought. I thought.
No,
you
I'm
were,
kidding. Pigs are too nice.
I thought you were going to say it's the former partner of
another
former
previous
Prime Minister
Prime
David Cameron.
Yeah, he did fuck a pig.
He did fuck a dead pig's head, more specifically.
Dead pig's head, which makes a change from them fucking the poor. But I guess we're not much more than pigs to them, so that's fine.
No. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor because the world is hell. Anyway, I also played another game, which I've also been playing on stream with Longfang, which is Snowrunner.
Yes.
Which
Snow trucking.
Across the universe.
Basically, if you're not familiar with it, what you do in that game is you drive trucks.
You do what?
Yeah.
No. That wasn't a bit. You drag fucks.
You drive trucks.
Okay.
It's Snow Truck Simulator.
Yeah, it's very. So you know how like Truck Simulator and stuff, that the simulator part is more about getting from point A to point B and the logistics of doing that.
Yeah.
This is more about you have vehicles and you need to drive them across rough ground and like making that really granular and like, okay, so you go into the area, you got to manage your fuel. You've got you're turning on like going into low gears, like messing with your.
There's
ropes. There is winches.
There's Land Raider up the side of the windshield exhaust things, and you've got to go to Tesco.
Land Raider up the side of the windshield exhaust. What the fuck does that mean?
I get that. That's like
see, Matt understands.
You mean Land Rover?
Yeah.
Not Land Raider.
Almost like, what do I do for a living?
Yeah, I extrapolated, but it got the imagery across, I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
It did. You were just being awkward with your
You do, yes.
brain.
You do have those because if you get in too deep water, it will flood your engine.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and get another car to drag you out.
Which is why you play it multiplayer. So you can hear Longfang tutting at you.
Yes. Because, yes, you can play it multiplayer, so you can go out and have little convoys. going out to like take things and drag each other out of the mud and stuff.
I have a very important question for you. Can you have big convoys? That's a deep cut. That's a deep one.
Yeah, it's a deep cut to specifically Beast Wars Neo.
Yeah. Because in Transformers in Japan, Optimus Prime is Big Convoy.
No, Optimus Prime is Convoy.
Kevin Conroy.
Big Convoy is a different character.
Big Convoy.
Who is a big mammoth.
He's a big
Transformer.
Manny the Big Conrad.
There was a Stop.
No.
There's a repaint of Big Convoy to look like Ultra Magnus, and so he's called Ultra Mammoth.
That's amazing.
Which I love. That is a detail I adore.
Have you seen the Fleshlight version, which is Ultra Man Mouth?
So in Snowrunner,
Wow.
you have to get from like you have to go from like point A to point B to like repair bridges and stuff because like the first area you start in is like being has been damaged by a flood, so you're like repairing the area, getting infrastructure back up and running. That's kind of the point of it.
So there's halos in this?
What?
There's halos in it?
Halos?
Yeah, the flood.
Fuck off.
I have not been on for a couple of months, so I really need to like get my quota up.
Okay.
So yeah, get fucking ready.
Okay, well, all right. Well, yeah. So, and so you're going along, and it is like this really kind of like you're traveling most of the time quite slowly because you're trying to get through mud in like low gears and figuring out the angles to go through things and like
Clutch braking
and using winches to pull yourself out of like real bad situations and stuff, and trying to rescue other vehicles that are themselves stuck in the mud.
Going to Waitrose.
And it's got a really huge amount of like fan content, like mods and stuff that people have made. So there's lots of extra vehicles you can get and get into the game. So whatever your favourite 4-wheel drive vehicle, there's probably a third party like who's made it.
That's actually really cool.
Which is really fun. So because I also have gotten long fang into Transformers, I'm sorry, dude.
Don't say sorry to him, say sorry to his bank account.
He went out and has got like a bunch of the actual vehicles that are based on, that the alt modes of various things are based on. So we've been using things like that, and so that's fun. It's an interesting little game. People seem to really like it being streamed as well. I think it's just kind of a chill, like kind of
yeah.
There's a what's the word I use for it? There's like such a systematic approach you go to going into things. So it's like you go, okay, so I need to do
There's
this,
a procedure.
and then this is a procedure, and it's like there's ways out of things. It's not, there's no grand story. There's no.
It's strategic, like roadside assistance. To oversimplify.
And I know it does lead to just a really satisfying little loop of a game where there's always a way out and a way around of whatever's happened to you. Sometimes it's simple, sometimes it's more complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as finding a site that can alter one of the game files so it gives you as much money as you want, so that on stream you don't have to spend hours grinding out coins. That's one way around things. I earned those 69 million credits legitimately, I'll have you know.
Nice.
But yeah, I can recommend it. It's quite a fun little game.
Honestly, it's like I don't think I'd get on with actually playing it, but I really like the idea of it.
It's definitely.
It's like why I keep like buying like car mechanic simulator and then just never playing it because I'm like, what the fuck is a crankshaft? Fuck you. And then I close it down and play Plants vs Zombies for the 800th time.
Well, Snowrunner is a game
that game for a long time.
Yeah, I've played it today.
Well, Snowrunner
it's one of my kind of like brain on autopilot games.
Yeah. Well, Snowrunner is a game that does require you to know what a differential is. So,
well, it's obviously something that isn't similar to a similarential. I don't know what kind of like tool that is. A differential.
That's if you have two of the same wrench, they're similar wrenches.
Yeah.
I was going to explain what a differential was, but no, I'm just going to leave that.
I just fucking did, though.
Okay, so... aside from that, I've also been carrying on with my Transformers reviews, which I've been thoroughly enjoying.
They are great.
They are very good.
I would like to personally say that I adore the little diorama-esque kind of poses you put them in when you're talking about them. It's just a completely side thing where it's like, oh yeah, someone will be picking up Soundwave by the leg or whatever, and it's like it's fun. I really like that stuff.
What's the point in making videos about action figures if you're not showing off the things you can do with them?
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, then, how long do you actually spend getting them in the right poses?
Longer than you'd hope, but not as long as you think.
Okay.
And plus, you're having fun the whole time, so it doesn't.
Well, yeah, I was
really
going to say
matter.
you'd be doing it anyway, so.
Yeah.
He's just monetizing it.
Basically. Watch my Transformers reviews, because then it justifies the money I've spent on Transformers.
What's your side channel?
It is Wib Does Stuff.
Yeah.
And the side series, Wib Does Transformers. I'm not having sex with them, honest.
No, that's his only
unless that
fans.
makes you want to watch them and give me a minuscule amount of a cent in ad
comment,
revenue.
and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more Transformers fucking. I think you should review Transformer snacks.
It is on the cards.
Good.
It is on the cards. My dad fucking came round and he brought some
did.
Transformer snacks.
And he was like, here you go, son. Because that's what you sound like,
Nice.
Kev, I'm sorry. It's like, it's not a Transformer, but it's close enough.
I'm like, yeah,
It was
thanks, Dad. If you don't know, Transformer snacks are some corn snacks or maize snack. I guess, yeah. Anyway, they're weird little crisp things that you...
There's two parts. There's a stickman looking kind of thing without a head. Crisp.
It does have a head.
Whatever. And then there's a circle. And then it goes, you can make a car. And it's like, fuck off.
You're supposed to put the 4 circles on the arms and legs of the little man.
And then it's like, wow. And it never works. And they've got rib flavor, which is nice, but I think I'm allergic to it, which is a shame because it's really tasty.
If you really like that kind of cheap corn
If you like
snack
knick-knack,
thing,
I bought two. I impulse bought 2 full fucking bags of Happy Snacks today.
and those are awful.
And those are the worst. You get onion flavor, and I love that. And
Not cheese and onion, just onion.
and then
Not
you
even
get-
pickled onion, just onion.
No, pickled onion's gross because it's just like, oh yeah, just you want vinegar flavored bullshit? No, thank you. And they've got cheese, which is fine. They have salt and vinegar, which I only like if you leave the bag open and let them go soggy.
I hate that so much.
But then they kind of weirdly chewy.
I hate everything that's coming out of your mouth right
Fantastic.
now. It's awful.
I was very seriously considering years and years and years ago when it was obvious, oh, my nephew likes doing drawings, I'll give him a $5 and we'll have him draw a rabbit. It was fucking shit. Oh, they also had tomato flavour, which they've stopped doing now. Tomato flavour was great because it was tangy, spicy tomato flavour.
Oh yeah, the tomato one was great.
Yeah, tomato was so good. Yeah, and now they've got a new design, which is why I didn't immediately recognise them, but I audibly gasped in the shop. I say so many things out loud in shops. Honestly, oh god, what was it?
That is surprising to no one.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally walking through the mall, and there's a baked good shop that then they do cookie cakes. The giant cookies where they put icing on it and you can personalize it. And one of them just said, "I love Daddy." And I literally, because I wasn't paying attention, I was listening to music or something, and I looked over there, and usually, because I'm a parrot, so if something sparks in my brain, I'll just say it out loud. But when I'm not presently being accompanied by anyone, it makes me look like a fucking crazy person. So I just turned around and went, let's see if my voice will allow me to do this. I love my daddy.
Which people will recognise from Silent Hill...
Shattered Memories. Which is just what... Yeah, it's just... They're filming in the beginning and she just keeps going, I love my daddy. And I did that, and then I realised I did it out loud.
Yep.
And then I was like, I need to leave.
It's alright, you're listening to music, therefore you have headphones on, so you're just on the phone call to someone.
Yeah, but I don't know what's worse. If I just say that randomly, or if I'm saying that to someone.
Yeah.
It's just like, hello, this is Lloyd's TSB. I'm like, hi, Daddy. Maybe that'd get me a better APR. I don't fucking know. But I don't know what's worse as walking past someone.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen, like, what was it? Like, I occasionally will get something stuck in my head and I'll just say it around the flat. And then, like, a couple of times Wib's just been like, you need to start saying something else because you can't be walking around being like, will you have sex with me? It's like, you can't do that. If you say that when you're in W.H. Smith's alone, it's going to upset people.
You're gonna have some conversations you don't want to have.
Yeah. It's like the guy in fucking W.H. Smith's being like, no.
It's going to be very awkward.
I can do so much better, and I'll be like, I'm like, Tony, you can. I'm proud of you, Tony.
So my Transformers reviews.
Oh, yeah, those Guess we're talking about that now.
Yeah, I've got a bunch more written, and more will be coming out soon.
Nice.
If you want to make more of them come out, I don't know.
That's oddly threatening. If you want to force me to do work against my will,
then watch them.
Daddy.
I was going to say watch them more so that they get more views, so that they earn enough money to justify spending it on Transformers.
Or send Transformers to like the PO box.
That is also an option. But yeah, I've got a bunch already written that are of various states of production.
Yeah, you're a hard-working little dynamite, you know that?
Oh, thank you.
You come out with some great shit.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I think I've done 7 so far. I've actually got the because I've been doing the
which is a holy number in Transformers lore.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No,
The
it's
Father,
not.
the Son, the Holy Spirit, ashes to ashes, funk to funky. We know Major Tom's a junkie. So you know how I was talking about I just say shit?
Yeah. That had those were just things you just went from one to the other, not concerned if they had any like path that way.
Oh no, that's just my brain having fun. Yeah, this is why I think I have ADHD.
13 would probably be the closest thing to like a holy number because there's 13 original primes.
That's pretty cool.
And
then there's the 2 forgotten primes.
I like that there's a prime number amount of primes.
Oh my god, you fucking nerd! Of course you noticed that.
It gets a bit weird and tortured, and there's more than 13 in certain
sure.
depending on how you want to look at it. And it as I've said on many occasions, Transformers lore is terrifying and doesn't make sense, but it's kind of good because it means that everything is canon and nothing is canon, so don't fucking worry about it.
I do really want to see that. What was
oh
it?
Shit! I just remembered.
Ah.
You okay?
Yeah. What did you just remember?
Squats came back.
Oh yeah, Warhammer.
Yeah.
Squats are back.
Are they actually back? Because I saw that they were back, but I haven't looked into it at all.
Well, it was the thing is like they announced it on April 1st, which is the day of lies and deception.
Yeah.
And like Wib was like, this looks too well done, and I'm like, yeah, you know what they'll have done? They'll have actually announced it, and they're actually doing it. Yeah,
they're doing they did a Scar Dream thing, which is where they announce something as a joke and then later go, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Scar Dream was Jeff Rosenstock's Scar reimagining of his album No Dream, and he put it out he put out a cover of it as a joke on April 1st, and then was like a month later, I got you fuckos, I made it.
Yeah, we know Jeff.
Just for people that don't listen to the exact same kind of music as me.
You all should listen to Jeff Rosenstock. He's not only an awesome dude, he's a very fun musician.
Jeff Rosenstock is great, yeah. But yeah, so they put out a trailer, and I was watching it going like, there's way too much effort been put into this purely for the joke, because I know, like, about halfway through I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing. This is going to be squats. I know what you're doing. And then they get to the end, and you can make out details on it, but it's mostly in silhouette. a squat, but it was with a unique design, and that's when I knew that they were actually doing something for definite. It wasn't just a remarkable commitment to a joke. It's like, no, because they've made a specific design, they wouldn't use that. They'd use a classic design if it was a joke. Because they've made a new design, that means there's going to be a real thing. And then what my bet is that they were going to make like a single squad for Kill Team, like they've done with the Eldar Corsairs.
I think that was a pretty safe bet. But no, they were like, nah, fuck that guy in particular. We're going to go all out.
Yeah, so yeah, that's going to be. I'm really interested
the last time
to see.
There was like a more unique army was like Tau in 2000 and
2003. Yeah, maybe 2003.
I don't know. Someone's gonna actually me in the comments, which is fine.
Somewhere between 2001 and 2003, I think Tau came out.
2002, then maybe.
Maybe
because that is actually in between 1 and 3.
It is indeed. Yeah. It is. Well done.
Wait.
But yeah, so that's gonna be interesting to see. We excited to see what they do with it, but also who the fuck knows. Because everything's going to get retconned. Because the reason they got rid of squats in the first place was because they didn't really know what to do with them. So presumably
they figured something out to do with them. So that's cool.
So that means they're probably going to get pretty heavily retconned, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. Not least because I really want them to not be considered an Imperial faction. And to be some kind of unaligned faction. I want them to be
like some kind of tertiary that is kind of out there.
Yeah, I want them to be like an unaligned faction so that I can have a small contingent of them as rebel squats to align with my rebel grots. Yeah,
nice.
That's what I want out of them. And if I don't get that, then I'll sulk for like 20 minutes, and then I'll just get on with my day. I guess.
Do it anyway.
I want.
Yeah, do it anyway.
I want that new Chaos Knight. Because it looks like it was deliberately designed to entrap me personally.
The one with the dog face.
Yeah, the dog skull face.
Yeah, the little armature thing.
I love that so much. I've forgotten what chips taste like. That's how much I adore that fucking model. I don't know why that was where I went.
Yeah, I don't know either. But anyway, you went there. I guess I don't really got anything else to mention. Not anyone cares. I bought Legacy Bulkhead, which is one of the newest Transformers. He's really good.
After like torturing the guy in game for 2 whole hours. Because you forgot my card.
I did forget the card, but he found that quickly, and he had just dealt with some people in front of me who spent like 45 minutes going, "Why do you need to know my address?" It's like, because you're returning something, we need to make sure that it's fine. It's like, but you can't have my address. So, I think comparatively I was a break.
Yeah, retail workers are amazing and unionised.
But anyway, that is neither here nor there. I'm going to pass over to the drummer Matthew.
Oh, shit.
To ask you what you have been up to.
I have done some stuff, but not much.
Anything you're legally allowed to talk about?
A few. The first one maybe not. It depends whether it's you setting the law or not, Momes. Snipe.
It's useful. It's fine. It's fine. I think my name has become so abstracted that you could literally. It's like a puzzle in and of itself to figure out what the fuck my nicknames are derived from. So don't worry.
But I finished watching The Mandalorian.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Is this you finished watching both seasons, or is this just you finished watching season?
But I haven't watched the third season, which is the Book of Boba Fett, which is apparently seemingly the third season of The Mandalorian.
It's season 2.5, shall we say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the half of the season starts during the second season of Mandalorian, and then I don't really understand why it's two different shows.
It is.
I think they were just like, shit. We need to put Din back in here. Because...
But why, though?
I mean, I love seeing my Beskar-coded husband anywhere. But it was kind of like... So, did Tamura Morrison say anything this episode?
I'm just going to butt in right now. You're talking about Book of Boba Fett. Matt is talking about Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
They're the same thing.
I will fucking strike you.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't know if you caught my summary of the first... however much you got to last month.
But Wib dobbed you in immediately. He came in and was like, guess who's going to get yelled at? And then basically told me that you didn't like it. And I was like, well, no, he's allowed to have his own opinions.
I didn't not like it. It was fine.
Okay, but Pedro Pascal is in it? Did you know that?
But The Mandalorian is the worst part about The Mandalorian. Like, pretty much every scene without him is better. So, like...
You do not want to see the face that Snipe is pulling right now.
Yeah. But he's just not very... I don't know. Like, you know, again, obviously, my opinion, and my opinion is apparently wrong, and that's fine. I accept that. Well, no, because other people like it as well, so I accept that.
No, this is the thing. It's like, dude, I don't like Lord of the Rings, which makes people on Reddit threaten to kill me, so, you know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that, like, I'm gonna get mad at anyone for really liking it. And it's like, just because I can't understand... It's like, I love The Mandalorian. It was a cultural reset for me. It is a borderline religious experience for me. So
you may have mentioned.
I kind of like it. It's fine. I appreciate not everyone is going to have the same type of focus on it that I do. And it's just, while I might not understand your points... It doesn't mean I don't respect them. As funny as a bit it is, where I'm like, oh my god, while I'm clutching my fucking, like, 1/3 actual size Pedro Pascal cutout standee.
You do literally have a Mandalorian shelf.
I do. I love Mandalorians so much.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons, Pedro Pascal being one of the reasons why it does get to me a little bit, because he's so good. And he's just
amazing.
He's just so wasted in this because he doesn't really have to do any acting or anything.
Well, I mean, there's one GIF online, I will send it to you, where he's clutching a pillow doing voiceover, and the pillow is supposed to be Grogu. Oh. And it's like, that's cute. But it would have been nice to have him in the armor, but capitalism dictates no. So there were two other guys. I feel terrible. I can't remember their names. And then he was in the suit, like, not often, but he was doing voiceover work and stuff like that.
You can usually tell when he's in the suit because he's got a gait.
Yeah, he does. It's because of those gigantic fucking, like, globes of talent he keeps inside his precious heart. I was talking with your dad about Pedro's fucking, like, swagger. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you can tell it's not him because he just does... And I'm like, Kev, I think we've got more in common than you'd like to think. He's going to text me when he hears this and be like, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, hey, Dad.
Because he listens to these, which is we love supportive dad. Because he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and it's all bullshit. But, you know, I listen. It's fun. And it's like, that's the biggest compliment you can ever get from a parental figure.
That's more commitment than I've got. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and I don't listen to it. So he's more committed than me.
What? Oh, yeah?
I think I'm the only person that has any vague idea what's going on in this podcast at any given time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're the only person who ever knows what's going on in our relationship. Just like, married and otherwise. I'm just like...
Did you forget what you were about to say? Did you lose your thread in the middle of a thread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remembered that
Get to your point about the Mandalorian,
okay,
Matthew.
I finished it. Can we spoil the ending of it? Or the ending of the second series? Or are people still going to be watching it at this point?
I'd say probably leave it. No,
okay.
Don't spoil it. But yeah, did you like the ending? Yes, no?
No comment without spoiling.
That's fine. Because I will say, I was watching it with Wib and Longfang. I had a drink, and I spent the half of that last season 2 episode inconsolably sobbing. which I don't have a problem with. I'm proud of emotion.
I will say, I think it is completely fine to give away what happens on account of the fact that it was all over social media.
And now there's Lego sets depicting it.
And now there's Lego sets.
I saw one today.
Also,
really cool.
what happens is a major point in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
it
kind of is. I think we can say it, and if people and we've sort of front loaded it enough so people know to skip ahead
skip
if
forward
they don't
a
want to
little bit
hear
from
it.
here.
Yeah.
It kind of just it was fine, and like Mark Hamill's great, so I knew it wasn't exactly him. It was I don't know, it was someone younger.
It was
he was CGI'd over it. He wasn't de-aged. It was someone else, and they made it look like
Yes,
him.
but
he did the voice.
In the early on kind of parts, they actually made it Plo Koon from Clone Wars.
You mean earlier on in development?
Earlier on in development, so they didn't leak that it was Luke Skywalker. So they had like Master Plo there, and it was just like that.
Even though Plo
would have made no fucking sense,
because Plo Koon gets pretty decidedly fucking murked in.
Well, he got better
in fucking Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
like he dies hard.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's like, I remember, like, I saw the green lightsaber, and I just started going, well, and it's like, yeah, I know it's, like, not... They don't need to put Luke in there. They don't need to put half the fucking characters in. But I don't care, because I like Star Wars, and I know what a green lightsaber is.
Seeing a lightsaber badass doing cool lightsaber stuff is always very satisfying.
It was super cool.
Yeah, I will say...
My only issue with it... Oh, go on, with.
Oh, I was just going to say, it might be sort of along the lines of what you were going to say, which is that I when with that end part, my sort of feelings were that, like, on the one hand, I'm like, it is Luke Skywalker, thing that I know is on screen. I feel like an 8-year-old again. Okay, I'm happy about this.
Also, R2 just, like, viciously cyberbullying Din Djarin and then wondering why he hates droids.
But by the same token, one of the things I thought that was best about The Mandalorian was that it wasn't too intertwined with the Skywalker saga. It was doing its own thing in the universe, and I felt that it was at its strongest when it was doing that stuff. So I'm like, I'm okay with this, but also this does kind of signal a thing of like this just starting to do things that maybe aren't the healthiest thing for this show. It's a little bit more kind of fan servicey and like brand recognition. It's like, okay, no story, especially in such a universally loved and sprawling fucking canon like Star Wars. I'm surprised it got off as lightly as it did. But that being said, I think Mandalorian season 3 is just wrapped, so hopefully it's not gonna. But anyway, Matt, you say what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Well, my issue with it is that it's sort of... So Luke presumably sensed Grogu child with, like, Force sense, whatever.
Well, his dad basically killed all of his mates, so, yeah. Yeah.
No, if you remember in that, like, right before Grogu is, like, reaching out in the Force. When he's sitting on the thing, so that's when Luke would have been sent.
Okay.
But also it's like and it does make sense that
on the stone thing.
That Jedi thing.
Okay. I was just because at my point we were watching, we were like, well, doesn't this like just mean everything that's happened in the last 2 seasons is kind of irrelevant because just in the end, Luke just came and rescued him from wherever, so it kind of doesn't matter what's happened until this point. But they would have had to get into that stone, so that makes it a bit more okay.
I will say that is also a thing that I was a little, like, a bit put out by with the ending of season 2 of that there was the whole thing of, like, well, now it's sort of a thing where this series was wrapped up by a hero from another series coming in and saving the day, as opposed to...
And if it wasn't Luke Skywalker or another recognisable, beloved character from the franchise, then it would have not been as satisfying.
Yeah.
But it was he's swinging his lightsaber around, he's got a fake hand, it's Luke Skywalker.
I'm not saying I know what would be a better thing to do there, but all I mean is that I think there is definitely some... It has the texture of something that it represents a problem with Star Wars and indeed most long-running fictional worlds in general.
It's just the whole kind of we need to have a recognizable character in here. It's like, no, you don't.
And I still enjoyed it. Like I
loved it.
I still really enjoyed it. It's like again, I just like Star Wars. It makes me feel like an 8-year-old. I love it.
I like Star Wars, but I prefer the more. I am a slut for space westerns. Firefly, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. I love it. I fucking love it. I go bananas to that shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
lightsabers are cool, but fucking high noon, like, fucking, like, quick draw, mate, that ain't gonna be a desert for too long.
I hate that I understand what you're saying.
What was it I turned round to you and said the other day? I was like, I'm so fucking glad that this wasn't in like a sexual setting. It was just out of the blue. I was like, I'm so fucking glad I have home like insurance because my basement is flooded. I heard a drag queen say that and I thought it was fucking hilarious.
But yeah, you got anything else you want to say about Mando?
No, I just wanted to have a quick chat with Snipe just to clear the air.
I
did not like it. I think don't get me wrong. We watched it. It's fine,
dude.
But
as like, you know, a reasonable human being, I'm like, hey, yeah, you know, we can't all like the same things. But as a bit, I'm gonna kill you. How fucking dare you, Pedro Pascal, forever.
But
you know, there we go.
We have been watching another thing. Let's see if I can make a link here because my favourite scene, I said to Wib last time from The Mandalorian, is still the two. Does Stormtroopers have a special name when they've got the funny hats and they go on bikes?
Scout Troopers.
Yeah.
Scout Troopers.
Oh, when they're talking about the bag, isn't one of them Taika Waititi?
Well, that episode was directed by Taika.
I love him.
And I mean, the next thing I've been watching was also there was an episode directed by Taika, and he's in it because we've been watching Our Flag Means Death.
I've heard that's fantastic.
And super gay.
Well, yeah, I have seen spoilers because we were only halfway through it or whatever, and the fan fiction is starting to appear in our heads. And I've already heard the spoiler that the fan fiction is just actually this plot, and that's just like amazing.
It's not subtext; it's just text.
No, it's just text. It's just happening, and there's lots of various characters that are all manner of different backgrounds, and you know, there's like gay couples, and there's like a non-binary character, and there's lots of cool stuff going on. And it's just aside from that, and it's not none of that is a big deal. Like the non-binary character, they don't really ever mention it; they just refer to them as a they.
That's
and
awesome.
It's not like a big like thing that they're trying to like show off about, or they're trying to like make you know whatever.
You know
it's just,
how actual queer people exist.
People. Yeah. It's very cool, but even aside from all of that, it's very good. And I didn't realise how much of it was based on, because I don't really know about I know Blackbeard's a pirate, but I didn't know Stede Bonnet, the sort of gentleman pirate, was a real person, and like did go and like pirate with Blackbeard for a bit and things. And obviously, it's not all based on truth, but like an alarming amount of it seems to be, which is quite interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, it's really cool. Really enjoying it so far. It's very funny.
My favorite Taika Waititi thing is when he was being interviewed at the unveiling of The Mandalorian, and Pedro Pascal broke his neck and killed him.
He did on the red carpet.
I've literally showed you the GIF of Pedro snapping his neck, and literally, I love Taika Waititi so much. Halfway, like literally after that, during an interview, he just collapses on the floor and pretends to be dead. And I love that, man.
Hey, what?
Okay, for context, for people who don't exist within Snipe's mind, on the red carpet for Mandalorian, Taika Waititi was being interviewed, and Pedro Pascal came up behind him and pretended to snap his neck, and being the consummate professional, Taika just collapsed on the ground.
And individual that he is.
He just collapsed on the ground as if he was dead.
Well, Pedro kind of just stood in the corner going, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. This is really awkward.
It's like, wow, now I've interrupted an interview.
Like, he didn't skip a beat, he just, yeah.
I'm really worried about the day where I get bored of Taika, because he's very.
I don't
very
think
cool.
I ever could. He's too
and
cool.
like just keeps making good things, apart from the American In-Betweeners, which was not good.
Everyone's allowed to have like some negatives.
Right?
Well, I can't fucking stand the British In-Betweeners.
Yeah,
so...
the American one was worse, because at least the British one had its thing of like the whole point was that they were like not the cool kids, but not the like nerd kids, and they were like whatever. But in the American version, they're just like American like sport kids or whatever. They're just like everything.
Also, they're like jocks.
So I don't know if they're quite jocks, but it's like, but they're just like, I don't know. They're not. It's not the same.
So it's like when they did the American Red Dwarf, and they made their Lister be like a handsome looking guy.
Yeah, because you can't have the main character in a show not be like attractive and cool.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't know. I did have a bit of a crush on Lister.
Oh no, Craig!
But anytime he like did anything gross, like stick a cigarette in his ear, I was like,
like not the thing is, like, like Craig Charles was going for a vibe, so regardless of how he looks, he put across the vibe of being this kind of slob, like whilst doing, because that was the Lister character. Whereas, the one in the American one did not.
He looked
because he just looked like a toothpaste commercial sort of.
He did, yeah. He looked like he'd stepped off Baywatch as
he wasn't
hot guy in the background too.
Like, it's not his fault he got cast for that role,
No,
but like, it's a bit weird.
That's not,
Although, what's the name? Terry Farrell, who was Jadzia Dax, was playing the cat in the American one.
That's cool.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube. I think they did 2 versions of the pilot.
Because they had the same Holly, and didn't Robert Llewellyn Crichton?
Robert Llewellyn was the only character. If I remember rightly, I think Holly was played by... it was one of the ladies from Frasier, I think.
Kelsey Grammer.
It was not Kelsey Grammer.
That's the only person I know from Frasier.
Okay. But you can see it on YouTube. One of them, anyway. One of them was leaked out there, and it's not great. I would say it's probably not as bad as you're thinking, but it's pretty bad.
It just misses the point a bit.
Yeah, it kind of condensed jokes from like the first 3 seasons into the same episode, which meant that it suffered from the problem of you've heard all these jokes before but performed better and in their original context, and whereas these feel like it's just been like yanked out, so it's like a kind of like kids performance of it rather than the original. And but anyway, do you have anything else to say about Our Flag Means Death?
Not yet. I'll update next time when we finish it, because we will finish it by next time, because we'll finish it tonight probably. It's very good.
Fair enough.
Very, very good. Not in surprising news to no one. But yeah, that's basically all we've been doing. We did watch the other. This is not a podcast one really. We watched what's it called? The Agatha Christie Death on the Nile film, which was fine.
Oh yeah.
I quite enjoyed them. I quite enjoy what's his name? Kenneth. I've never said it out loud.
Kenneth Branagh.
Branagh, yeah.
Yes, if it's the Shakespearean actor, it's Kenneth Branagh. Yes.
Yeah. He's quite a fun bro. I quite like the little. They make him a bit more human. He just has the occasional line that's just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's fine.
I just want to watch The Mummy again, because everyone is so hot.
Oh yeah, right.
Everyone is so outrageously attractive.
Is this because Death on the Nile?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering what the segue was there.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, but I don't have much to say about it. It was fine. The first one was fine. This one was fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. That's basically it. We watched. Took us about 3 nights to watch it, but.
At least you've been watching things. I've been sitting there going like, what have I watched in the last
Yeah, but I haven't played any games. I miss playing some games. I did list my gaming PC on the on a Gumtree thingy, but not had any.
Oh, you didn't.
I have no idea how much to sell it.
You didn't manage to sell it through the podcast.
No, I didn't.
I will give you a home cooked meal,
and it's getting towards the end of the whole graphics card crisis thing. Shortage, not crisis. Crisis puts far too much emphasis on how important graphics cards are to most people. But graphics card shortage is coming to an end, so I think I've timed it exactly perfectly for when the value is going to basically become bugger all. But whatever, it's only going to drop, so I might as well do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I do that, and then I might game one day. I do miss it.
You will play
time.
I mean, to be fair, you decided to have a baby, and that just
it's just a few years. Just a few years off.
Yeah,
I have heard it's a pretty
17
common
more
thing.
years.
I was listening to a podcast. They're like, "Oh, do you remember this game coming out?" I was like, "No, that was in the dark ages. I had 7 years of not gaming." I was like, "Yeah, that checks out."
Yeah.
just yeah. I'll get there. Anyway, Snipe.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, I have been up to a bunch, but I've forgotten. Because it's been a while since we've recorded one.
Yeah, fair. I keep meaning to make a list in between episodes and then don't and forget.
Yeah. Well, I watched the book of Boba Fett. Fucking loved it. I do feel that maybe if Tamira Morrison had like a couple of extra lines, that would have been cool, because it's named after the character he's playing. But otherwise, I found it thoroughly enjoyable. I
thoroughly enjoyed Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, I love Ner Babwir very much. And Ming-Na Wen, I've loved her dearly since since I saw her in the Street Fighter live-action movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it's just good. I like it. The Gamorreans as well.
Gamorrean guards, yeah.
The Gamorrean guards, like, that thick why can't I romance one of those handsome, chunky lads?
I genuinely like how both between that and The Mandalorian, they've, actually given
Boba Fett some, like, character growth rather than just being dickhead bounty hunter.
I mean, yes, but he was a nothing character in the original thing.
No,
People just like he had cool armor. Which admittedly is very cool.
You know, I think I can sum up my distaste for a lot of that part of fandoms, and everyone will know what I'm meaning. And it's not the majority, but it is a very noisy minority who was like, because I'm not really going to spoil anything, but sand people, you get basically, they flesh them out and they go, yeah, these are like the natives of this planet. They've got their own culture. They've been relegated to the fucking snow, like the sand dunes, because colonialism, basically, space colonialism. I'm not getting political in my Star Wars talk.
Nothing political about wars.
No. And it really fleshes them out, and you go, okay, these are like a 3-dimensional people. And I saw someone on Twitter going, I'm really not liking Book of Boba Fett. It's making me feel that what Anakin did to the Sand People was a bad thing. It's making me dislike Anakin, and it's like,
You were supposed to.
You were supposed to!
The point of that scene was to show that he had gone too far. That he was not able to control himself.
It's a big everyone sucks here.
He murdered an entire village of people, including the women and children. You were never supposed to see that as morally ambiguous.
Yeah, and it's just like, this has made me dislike Anakin. It's like, I know writers who use subtext and they're cowards. I know writers who use text and apparently they're cowards as well, because Jesus fucking Christ.
Although in fairness, people misunderstanding the very unsubtle themes of Star Wars is nothing new and it will never stop.
No. Sophie Thatcher, my girl, being in Book of Boba Fett as well. Love seeing her. She was in Prospect, which... Prospect is a very important movie to me. I can't watch it without ugly crying. It also stars celebrated Chilean-American actor Jose Pedro Belmestida Pascal, and I cannot recommend it enough because it's quite a low-budget thing. I follow the writer and director on Instagram, and he's got I have more followers on Instagram than he does, and it's criminal. It's like you know when you play Mass Effect 1 and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is a really fleshed out world. Prospect feels like that.
So you mean when you play you experience the first encounter with a fictional world, but it feels like it's an installment of a wider universe.
But you also you can get things. So their kind of name for lack of a better word, the kind of deity is Keva. So and you can tell by the way it's inserted naturally into conversations that that's their equivalent of God, or Keva is their word for God. And it's little things like this, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's again, it is the genre is it's like a space western-ish. It's a space prospecting. So it's sci-fi. It's cool. It has that kind of sci-fi that I love.
I've never even heard of this, but it sounds really cool.
Honestly, it's basically an independent movie, and I think they spent most of the money on having Pedro Pascal in it, which I would too.
Yeah.
The guy, the director, I can't remember his name right now, and I feel terrible. But I think he did it as a short film, he did a 10-minute one where it's the two main characters, or at least two characters that fit similar roles in the full-length movie version in a tent. because the whole thing takes place on the green moon of Bachroma. And it's basically like the atmosphere is kind of toxic, and it's like it's got its own kind of thing, and everything.
So it's like Twitter.
No, it's way better than that.
Okay.
If you breathe it, then you basically like it like fucks your lungs up.
So it's TikTok.
Kinda.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's got that thing again. That thing I love about sci-fi, where it's just like, okay, there's a bunch of people here off their own backs. Everything is kind of busted. Like, people's gear is kind of disparate because that's just what it would be like. It's like a bunch of people. It's like, you know how we all have our cars and stuff now, when they're all kind of like, oh yeah, the left blinker's a bit out. This thing isn't. It's like that.
The lived-in future.
The lived-in future. And I love it. And like, Sophie Thatcher was like 16 at the time, and she fucking rocks that role so hard. And of course, I don't even need to say Pedro's amazing in it, because of course he is. But yeah, and I can aggressively recommend that. And it's a very personal movie to me that I love a lot. But I haven't seen it recently, so I don't know why I'm gushing about it on the podcast, because it's not something I've done recently.
But it is a thing you enjoy.
It's
so
a thing
that's
I
fine.
absolutely fucking adore. Now to talk about something I don't like.
Oh.
Yeah, so you all might remember that I'm kind of low-key obsessed with shit horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are aware.
The Conjuring in particular is a particular bugbear of mine, because I fucking hate Lorraine and fucking... Oh, what is his name? I hate Ed and Lorraine Warren so much because they're grifters. They are.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment.
You should probably give context on who they are.
Ed and Lorraine Warren were fucking like paranormal investigators from like the 70s, like around that time.
Liars.
Yeah. No, the thing is, like,
Legally, I'm pretty sure I can't call them liars, but...
You probably can. I can.
Yeah. Okay, you can. Okay.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Now, if you believe in the paranormal, whatever, I'm not passing judgment on you. Just because I personally don't believe it doesn't mean that it's fake. You know, that it's completely garbage. If you believe that, fantastic. I pass no judgment. There are two types of these people in the world. People who believe, like, you know, that they believe in what they're doing, which is earnest and okay, fine. Then there's Ed and fucking Lorraine Warren, who are just complete and utter fucking dicks, and I hate them. The Conjuring cinematic universe tries to set them up as very sympathetic, very, very knowledgeable people. They are fucking not. Annabelle was based on one of their cases where there was like 3 people in the 70s who shared a student flat, so they were absolutely off their tits on ecstasy. So they were like, I took 8 tabs and the doll moved. Time to call in an expert. And they came in and they were like, this is bad. This doll is bad. We'll take it away and put it in a box and shove like a tarot card on it.
It's a Raggedy Ann as
It's
well,
a Raggedy Ann.
in reality.
Which is why the Annabelle in the movies is just a completely different thing with red hair, because they couldn't get the rights to it. Apart from... in, I think, this one where they do have a Raggedy Ann doll at the end is like and it's like, no one cares. No one fucking cares. Fuck you. Anyway, I hate Ed and Lorraine Warren because they're con artists. And the Conjuring movies make them out to be these fucking heroic, gold-hearted people. And, like, I get it. It's like, do you want a movie or not? But it didn't have to be, like, basically starring them. Now, I hate The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, because it is another real-life case. However, this was a real-life case, if memory serves, of a man called Arnie Johnson, who... I can't remember who he viciously murdered his landlord. And then he was like, the devil made me do it. And, like, I don't really care what your beliefs are. I don't believe that a devil, like the devil TM exists. I feel that there's just a lot of very sick people out there. Again, if you do, that's fine. But they fucking sex this up. So, like, his girlfriend's younger brother is initially possessed. So he's like this 10-year-old kid. And then Arnie Johnson goes in, actual murderer Arnie Johnson is like, no, I won't let you have him. Take me. So the evil murder spirit goes into him, and that's why he fucking murdered his landlord. And I'm like, that's fucking irresponsible.
So they took a case in real life where a real dude killed another person.
He actually murdered another person in cold blood.
And then they made a movie where he did a heroic action.
Yeah.
And that led, and that meant that his real world murder, where a real person was killed.
A real person is dead because of him, yes.
Is made into something that was just an unfortunate side effect of his heroic action.
Yes.
That's pretty fucking gross.
Yeah, you want to talk about fucking, dolls coming to life and fucking throwing shit at people, scaring kids, okay, fine. Don't actually sit there and go, this murderer was heroic, actually. That's what really fucking pisses me off.
Would I be right to assume that a lot of the people involved with this would be still alive as well?
Yeah.
Extra gross.
I think Lorraine Warren died, a couple of years ago. She was in her 90s.
Because all this shit was 70s.
This was 70s, 80s. Kind of time was that most active.
So the family.
The family's absolutely still alive.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And they haven't changed their names. That's the actual names of these people.
Oh, wow! This is the grossest movie.
Yeah, the boy's name was David Glatzel. I think I did look it up, which is really great because at the end of the movie they show the actual footage of Ed and Lorraine Warren exercising this child.
You mean torturing a child?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And images of Arnie Johnson. And it's that's what pisses me off. It's like, look, there's a man is dead. Dude. And it's it's so cringe, because there's this fucking, I literally wrote the quote down. This is in court. Which is a quote from, I can't remember if it's a judge. It's from, one of the court officials, which is, the court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil. Which is trying to get this guy off because he murdered some dude.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the Warrens that maybe says that. And they pause on that and they have a tight shot, it's profound, and it's like, he killed someone in real life, dude. But yeah, then they go to this fucking house, and it turns out that somebody put a Blair Witch fucking thing under someone's house, and that's a curse, and that summoned the spirit, and the guy's actually innocent because he did a heroic act and sucked an evil devil spirit out of a kid, but not in that way. And now that's what made him kill. And they literally, they go to the county and they try and talk to the police officer who's in charge of the case. And he's like, I don't believe in none of this mumbo jumbo. And she's like, because Lorraine is supposed to be the psychic of the pair. And he's like, okay, I'm going to test you, Ms. Warren. One of these knives was used to kill, this fucking teenage girl. Which one is it? And she immediately goes, it's that one. And I'm like, okay. What? Okay. Wow, Detective of the Year, world's greatest detective. Because if you were really going to do that, wouldn't you just take 3 random knives that weren't involved in crime?
That would be the obvious thing.
And go, which one is it? And then you could have her look at him like, none of these have any negative kind of shit attached.
Yeah.
But no, she's like, it's the middle one. And he's like, whoa, oh my goodness. Turns out the devil did do it. Yeah. That's not how he talks, but I don't care. They go to the scene of the murder, and fucking Lorraine puts her hand on it and goes, something terrible happened here. It's no shit, Lorraine. Someone was murdered here. Oh, and then she gets possessed by, the murderer? Which is, I don't know, he's probably in prison or something. He's just I'll just astrally project and just fuck up this guy's day. It is an awful fucking movie. The other ones are just I like to hate watch them because they're silly. This one actively upset me.
I can understand. This does seem like everything you have told us about this movie is fucking awful. Like,
Yeah.
like
It's like, make something up.
yeah, like
boss.
it sounds
Or
like
at least, at the very, very, very least, change the names.
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be obvious, because if you look into, like, the background of Ed and Lorraine Warren, they have case notes for everything they've fucking stuck their disgusting fingers in.
I mean, personally, I would do anything in my power not to give the estate of Ed and Lorraine Warren any money for any circumstances or any glorification at all.
That's why I watched it by astrally projecting myself into a cinema.
Yeah,
Good.
take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that movie. Made me angry.
I get
would
that.
recommend it.
I get that. I understand.
I have one last movie to talk about, but it's one that I fucking loved and can hardly recommend. So kind of like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Now, you all know that game that Hatsune Miku herself developed, Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yes, I'm familiar with this.
Yeah, and how there's like, it's... For those of you who have been living under rocks, it's about a bunch of animatronics at a kid's pizzeria, like a Chuck E. Cheese-esque kind of establishment, that come to life in the middle of the night and act violently. And there's a whole subplot of, they're all, like, possessed by angry spirits or something, which is another kind of motivation for the animatronics to get up and murder people. It's this big whole thing. Now, a movie was released called Willy's Wonderland that basically had the exact same premise, which is the movie I'm going to be talking about now, which is Willy's Wonderland. A bunch of animatronics in a Chuck E. Cheese pizzeria kind of place, and there's something...
But called Willy.
Willy's Wonderland. It's American.
Are we just not going to mention
it's
called
American.
Look, we just have to accept the fact that in Britain, just because Willy means a dick, we just have to deal with this.
I think
Okay, cool.
I really want to dub some pornography, but make it all like kind of silly, befuddled English. So it's like, oh, go on, David, let's see that Willy. Like badly dubbed porn.
Yeah, I was going to say that show existed.
just
It's called
realised
Badly Dubbed Porn.
That was fantastically
What
fucking
show,
funny.
it was on like Channel 5 or something
It was
years ago.
like after Eurotrash. It was like, and I've just like activated a bunch of people. But yeah, and Willy's Wonderland. It's starring the one, the only Nicolas Cage.
Oh, nice.
I love that.
When's this film from? Just for
It's like a year or two ago it was done.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
It's
cool.
really good. It's so fun because it's stupid and it loves that. It loves being stupid. And like also April 22nd, 2022, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nicolas Cage and
yes.
celebrated Chilean-American actor Jose Pedro Mesita Pascal, is going to be released, and I am so stoked because that looks fucking hilarious. And the trailers used a Blackpink song, which is actually really cool because K-pop, it has problems because anything in capitalism does. But that, like, I didn't expect to see that over a mainstream movie, so that's cool.
I appreciate them picking the one K-pop band I know songs by.
That's fair. That's fair. And so Nicolas Cage's character, it starts off and he's got this gorgeous fucking like muscle car, and he's driving around and he gets like spike stripped. There's just like in the middle of this like really long ass country road, there's just some spike strips. So he drives over and it just shreds his tires, and so he just stands there and he like Metal Gear Solid 5 time passes and waits for another car to come by. So he's just standing there and it's like sped up and like, the things like the sun's
The
going
sky
over.
is passing over,
Yeah.
the sun's passing over him.
And there's like a guy who's like, oh yeah, shit out of luck there. How about you come back? We don't use the internet because we're a small town and we think the internet's got ghosts in it. So I don't fucking know. Nicolas Cage remains quiet. Gets into town and he's like, and the guy's like, oh yeah, I can replace all those tires with those rims, short notice. Oh, it's going to be about $2,000. And Nicolas Cage is quiet and then slowly reaches for his wallet and he goes, oh, cash only, no internet. Or you can work your debt off and I'll have your tires prepped and fixed for you in the morning. And he's just like, Nicolas Cage says nothing, but nods. He is a silent protagonist. and I will tell you this because it makes me very happy, he does not say one word in the entire movie. Now, those who don't know about movies, you ever see, like, a scene in a movie where, like, the main character turns around to, like, a background actor and says something that there's no way anyone would not reply to that, but they don't speak? It's because if you speak, they have to pay you considerably more money. Which is why background extras just kind of end up like, oh, this, like...
being oddly mute sometimes.
Being oddly mute, yeah. So that's why. So I'm wondering if he got paid, like, half.
Hey, you gotta pay. You gotta pay for those, like, dinosaur skeletons somehow.
No, he bought some. No, he bought one, and people think that he went bankrupt and had to sell it or whatever. No, the Mongolian government were like, that actually belongs to us, and he just gave it back to them because he's actually, like, he's a weird dude, but he's cool.
Yeah.
He's so fucking weird. So the stipulation of getting his things fixed is, there's a rundown pizzeria that we have. And, like, Doug Dimmadome from the Dimsdale Dimmadome comes up. He's basically that guy. And he comes up and he's like, oh yeah, if you just clean up this pizzeria, like, you know, like, because it's really run down and fucked up. Because it's just disuse. And, like, all the animatronics are looking really haggard and stuff. It's pretty cool. And he's like, clean that up. And by morning, once you've cleaned all that up, we'll have your car fixed for you. Now, it is... the people who wrote this fucking knew what they were doing. Because, yes, it does follow the kind of, like, Five Nights at Freddy's, like, you start at, like... because he starts, like 9 p.m. or something. And then it does end in the morning. And it's just video game protagonist who has to... So, the thing with Nicolas Cage's character is that he's, like, this bizarre badass. Like, you don't know, I think he's got, like, dog tags hanging off his rear view in the start of the movie. So it's, like, it's insinuated he's, like, ex-army or whatever. So he knows how to, like, murder people as he does in the movie. So he's just going about cleaning, and, like, the Doug Dimmadome does say to him before he goes in, he's like, remember to take breaks, it's very important. So every hour, he goes and plays pinball in, like, one of the back rooms and drinks, like, a soda. And it's, like, progressively more Joker-fied as the movie goes on. So, like, there's a part at the end where, like, they get, like, the after-image kind of camera, and he's, like, getting a high score on the pinball machine and just kind of, like, thrashing around in ecstasy. And you're like, I don't know what I'm watching, but this is great. And there's also, like, a young girl and her friends who are just, like, they hate the pizzeria. And, like, the movie starts and, you know, she's basically gets arrested by her mum, who's, like, the sheriff, because she tries to burn down the pizzeria. And it kind of, like, goes on, and there's a fantastic fucking part where Nicolas Cage, remaining silent after beating a couple of the animatronics in, like, what I can only describe as boss fights. I will say one thing. There is an incredibly violent, in the kind of cartoonish violence, because he's fighting animatronics, and hyperkinetic action sequence where he's fighting two animatronics to the head, shoulders, knees and toes, that song that they make you sing at kind, that's playing while he's, like, this fucking awesome action scene is playing out. It is the funniest, most bizarre thing.
It sounds it.
It's honestly, it relishes in being stupid. You can tell the people who wrote this love horror movies and think that Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of silly, because you sit there and you go, what's the one thing you think of when you're playing Five Nights at Freddy's? Why wouldn't I just get up and kick the shit out of these stupid things? Like, I'll just kick one over. There's no way, you know. And that's basically the movie.
It sounds like it's what if the protagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's was replaced with Doom Guy for one night.
Yes! Actually, yes! And, like, he keeps getting covered in motor oil and stuff and keeps having to, like, put on new Willy's Wonderland shirts, which is kind of, like, it's fan-fucking-tastic. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is so stupid. It is so fun. It is so entertaining. I like it a lot. Okay.
Excellent.
Now I'm done.
Okay. So now we need to move on to the questions. I assume we do have questions.
We have a few. There's not that many.
Oh, wow,
honest,
everybody.
so-
Well, come and tell me what your favorite dinosaur.
Well, that's not a question.
And, no. I want people to come in and ask me questions as if I was an animatronic from Willy's Wonderland.
I would also ask that you don't do that, but feel free to ask us questions. And when you do ask us a question, what email should it be sent into, Matt?
thedrummermat@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what are the questions?
The questiones.
So the first question came into not that email address. It came into the old email address.
Stop doing that.
I don't know if that was on purpose or not. There was no mention to what they were doing, so they might have just been catching up with a backlash of episodes and not caught up to wherever we changed.
Yeah, possibly.
Anyway, possibly. Who knows? Anyway, Hell on Earth asked, when are the Mothman plushies coming out?
Do you have any idea how expensive it is to get Mothman? Well, to get plushies made, like it's really
No. I'm pretty sure Hell on Earth is recommending that they bankroll this entire project, which we will happily take.
Certainly.
We'll charge it all to your PayPal account, which is probably the email address that you've messaged us with. So we'll just do that.
We'll sort that. No,
we'll
seriously.
send you one at half price.
If it was a possible thing that we could do, I would do it in a second. Yeah.
Because we love the Mothman.
The Mothman is the best.
He's pretty good.
It's the worst, most okay. I was going to say it's the worst, most not real cryptid, but they're all that.
Yeah. The Mothman is literally just a big owl.
Yeah, there's something just very fun about Mothman that it's much more fun than a lot of the other ones, which tend to just get depressing after a while.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay, next up. This is an odd question. Ola, do you guys use wooden butter knives in England?
Use what?
Wooden
butter knives. Something Alpha Booster. I don't. It's the Alpha Booster's fault apparently. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea what the reference is, but they might. Yeah, don't know.
No. What we do is we befriend snails or slugs. And basically, we persuade them to very gradually crawl through milk until it is butter, because it takes that long. And then we just put, like, a bit of bread there. So we don't have to, because we think, like, touching cutlery is kind of gross.
I wish there was another way, but...
There isn't, quite frankly, there isn't. So that's what they do in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I saved a snail yesterday and really confused somebody. Because, like, I nearly stood on him, so I picked him. You should never pull them off the ground, because that can hurt them. What you do is you hold their shell until they, like, automatically kind of curl up and let go. And then I put it in someone's front garden, and the woman was sat there watching, like, fucking, I don't know, Lorraine Kelly, and she was just, like, staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing in my garden? And I'm like, I'm saving my friend, Jeremiah. Fuck you, Colleen. Get back to fucking, I don't know, Jeremy Kyle or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I don't want to say, I deserve, like,
a medal,
but I mean, I do.
A small snail-shaped medal would be appreciated.
That would be pretty cool, actually. But yeah, that's how we do
Someone
it.
will send that now.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Ask the next question quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, next one's a bit more serious.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get back to the silly ones afterwards.
Okay.
Jack wrote, girlfriend of 18 months has been through a tough time recently with a list of stuff that I won't go into, but it all sucks, and then has had various mental health issues due to those. She recently began to feel like she can't offer the intimacy, companionship or relationship she thinks I need, so she's asked him to move out. So he's currently moved into the spare bedroom until they can find a more permanent place to go. But the problem is that he still loves her and doesn't really want to do that. So... But he has no idea what he can do about this.
Okay.
Any advice? It's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, this is a very sensitive topic, and we can't. It would be irresponsible of us to try and give you any kind of advice that wasn't purely born out of personal experience. I have some personal experience with this kind of thing, and it might not be as satisfying as you think, but it's just you can't cure someone if they are mentally unwell. as much as that's all you want to do, whether you whether you consciously realize that or not, everyone's kind of do that. If you have a loved one who suffers from mental health issues, you're going to inadvertently try, no matter what. No matter how much you realize that that's not something that you can just cure. You can't watch movies and snuggle up with them and then their depression is gone. That's not the way that works. It can make their experience better, but yeah, it sucks that your partner doesn't feel like they can offer you what they think you need. But at the same time, I can't give you any solid advice. All I can say is sometimes people tell you what they need.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. I don't know the situation. And it sucks if someone you love is hurting and someone you love is basically like, yeah, let's not do that for whatever reason. But yeah, all I can say is, there's no magic Band-Aid. And don't be hard on yourself, because you're not a magician that can just snap your fingers and make everything better.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
And what I will say as well is, if you do end up staying there and, to try and help or to try and support or whatever, if that is what the situation ends up being, remember to take time for yourself as well, because if you're not good to yourself, you can't help anyone.
Yeah, you'll burn yourself out, and there's no shame in taking time for yourself if that's a thing that happens. So.
If Queer Eye has taught me anything.
Yeah.
There's a new series of Queer Eye. Watch that. You have some ugly cries for that, and it's great. That'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a heavy question, but I thought it was one we can. It's sort of, it's not irrelevant to what we've spoken about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Back to silly 40k. Brandon with a 40k question.
Hello, Brandon.
You've become the leaders of a new office of the Imperium.
I have.
The Officium Capillorum. Any guesses?
Something about blood.
No.
Capillaries?
Yeah, no, I would have guessed that as well, but no. The Office of Hair.
Oh, okay.
I mean, as if I'm not already. You seen these locks?
This office has supreme authority over the official hairstyles of all organisations and members of the Imperium.
Oh, so they're the fuckers that mean that everyone has to shave their head and yell all the time.
Yeah.
Your rules and regulations extend to the High Lord of Terror to even servitors on the fringe worlds. Mars, Space Marine chapters, this is a battle. Everyone has to follow your rules, even Primarchs and Survey Skulls.
I'm listening.
Doesn't matter if things can't grow hair. That's what the wig manufacturing planets are for.
I love it how there's wig manufacturing planets.
Hey, look, if you're supplying an entire galaxy,
Yeah.
So the question is, what hairstyles are Imperium approved and what isn't approved?
Mullets. Okay.
Thing is, that would have been my answer, but mullets are kind of getting cool.
Okay, no, they're not. But okay, you know what? You know what I'm going to say.
Bristol, do you?
yeah, no, I don't.
It'll get to you.
No, I saw a guy.
The creeping mullet.
The creeping mullet from old Bristol town. Jesus Christ! No, I did see a guy today who had proper 80s mullet, and I was like, what fucking year is it? Anyway. When I was at school in Australia, all the boys had rat's tails. And I think that's what the Imperium has, because the Imperium is a fascist fucking shithole, and I want them all to look like idiots with their fucking garbage little rat's tail. Not even plaited, it's just a random square of hair.
Can they all have or maybe all have the haircuts that every teenager had in 2000, that's 1998, where they've got the gelled up front.
No, that's what the front of it looks like, but they've got a rat tail at the back.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. See, I was just going to say originally, I want everyone to have mohawks so everything feels like Rogue Trader again.
Yeah, but they're all space fascists, so let's make them look as stupid as possible.
Yeah, no, I'm behind either the rat's tail. I kind of think the mullets. I actually am a big fan of. Okay, let's go full mullet.
Well, we can divvy up planets and stuff. So mine will have rat's tails and incredibly spiked, gelled up fronts. Drummer, what about you?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you've got the two good ones.
What about bowl cuts?
No, devil locks.
The Night Lords could totally go for devil locks.
They will have a self-perm. Like,
Everyone should look like Kevin Keegan, yes.
Yeah, the Keegan.
That's a joke for my dad.
Who is Kevin Keegan?
He is not, shockingly.
His name is Kev, though.
Yeah.
Kevin Keegan.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, last question, and it is... I'm sorry, everyone else, but it is the best question.
Wow.
Okay.
Favoritism in the ranks.
Yeah, sentient hair.
Hello, sentient hair. We were just talking about you.
Let's imagine that Monster Energy are making a line of drinks based on Godzilla and Friends.
No.
Okay.
What flavours do you think will be suitable for this line of Kai juice?
Sentient hair, I'm gonna fucking find you, and I'm gonna make you write a 24-page written fucking apology to me.
Well, the obvious one is
and
that
anyone who has ears.
You have your atomic energy, like, and
That's gonna be the blue one.
That's like the blue one because it's like Godzilla's atomic breath.
Then you have the Hedorah one, which is literally just slop.
I mean, to be fair, I think
then you get the
energy
Kamatakun one that is just ketchup flavored.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember when you ate ketchup and chocolate ice cream?
On the podcast, yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't that many episodes ago because we just haven't recorded that many episodes.
Okay.
God, that tasted like I was going to die. That did taste like poison after once the flavors finally mingled. Oof, that was bad. Yeah,
so there'd be atomic like punch or whatever.
Yeah, I think any of them could be.
What flavour would atomic punch be?
What flavour is energy drink? It all tastes like
it's just an
shite
overwhelming
anyway.
taste of taurine and then the background of like a cheap shit flavour they threw in there.
I guess that's the thing.
Because energy drinks are one of the worst things you can put in your body.
Yeah, please.
Apart from like, I don't know, Ed Warren. Sorry.
Yeah, unless you have to. Maybe avoid energy drinks if you can, because they're pretty bad for you.
They are really, really bad for you.
Yeah, I guess any of them could be Hedorah themed because they are all poison.
You
get them in 3-packs and they're like Ghidorah themed.
King Ghidorah, yeah. Where it's just like, I don't know.
King Ghidorah's guava flavored energy drink. I
guava.
I don't know, because
it'd be guava, lychee, and cucumber.
Is that the new names of his 3 heads?
Yes.
Guava, lychee, and cucumber.
I actually really like the idea of that.
Cucumber's the one on the end from King of the Monsters.
The silly one who's just like bigger. I would have to have a Gamera version, so Gauss would just be knives.
Gamera would be the gamer energy drink because I want Gamera gamer. Gamer Gamera.
Yeah, it'd be called like the video Gamera.
Yeah.
No.
Gamera's Gamer Fuel.
Your Gamera's Gamer Fuel. Or it'd be like, Gamera's Gate, where we hate female kaiju for no reason other than they're female kaiju. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Mothra should have like... Do you remember when we were at that gig and I drank that glitter juice?
No.
We were at the shed in Leicester.
Yeah.
And I drank glitter juice. It was a J2O and it had glitter.
Okay.
And it looked like a fucking like health potion.
Yeah.
That's what that should be.
Okay. But with a violent amount of caffeine in it.
Yeah. And sugar.
Yeah.
Because that's literally all it is just sugar and caffeine. Which I'm usually all for.
And it all should be like 4 Loko, so it's got a ton.
So it will kill people.
So it's got malt liquor in it, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That stuff.
No, you know what? Fuck it. The Space Godzilla version is literally just a snowball. As in heroin and cocaine.
Yeah.
As in the fucking heart stopper.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly better for you having a snowball than drinking a fucking Monster Energy.
Yeah. I guess what we're saying is the official stance of the MisanthroPod
This fuck energy drinks are fucking terrible.
Do drugs instead of energy drinks.
Yeah.
Do edible. Okay, so I just remembered, Pedro celebrated.
How obvious do you have to make it that it's a satire so you're not liable anymore?
Just add a mwah, mwah, mwah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that reminds me, I saw this adorable thing, which is why I think Pedro Pascal is such a cool dude. Because he goes to the movies frequently on his own.
Yes.
There was a picture that showed of he encountered a fan in the cinema, and she took a photo with him, and he's got this big goofy grin, because he's like a dad without kids, and like he's got his hat on, and he's just got this big stupid grin, and the lady, she posted it to her like Instagram, and she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I met Pedro Pascal. He was such a sweetheart." Blah blah blah, and he comments on it, going, "I was so high on edibles going in to see The Incredibles 2, and your kindness set me on a good path for the rest of the day." And I'm like, you were baked out of your fucking gourd seeing The Incredibles 2?
I'm going to be honest, having seen The Incredibles 2, I kind of wish I
was baked when I was
I kind of wish I was off my tits on edibles, honestly.
I just love that, of just like, yeah, I encountered a fan while baked off my fucking tits.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
And on that note, we should probably use that as an excuse to wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, thanks everybody for, it's like I never left, except it is. And I'm glad no one is being mean and everyone forgot about me.
No.
I didn't forget about you. Sentient hair. I don't know why I'm singling them out, but yeah.
Kaijus.
I think they said so. That's why. Yes.
That's why.
Suddenly my murderous rage is justified again.
Anyway,
if it doesn't end in me threatening you, is it even a podcast with me in it?
this is true. But anyway, we should get off. So goodbye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Stay safe. We love you. You're stronger than you think, and don't drink energy drinks. But do watch Willy's Wonderland
And do drugs. That is,
safely.
Safely.
Remember,
do drugs.
if you're going to do some drugs, always do less than you normally would, because you can always do more drugs, but you can't do less.
Yeah.
And always make sure, if you're taking a drug for the first time, have like a chaperone or someone who's going to be there if something goes wrong. Take care of yourself.
Satire, parody, and Minecraft, blah, blah, blah.
Also, lol, JK, Roblox, whatever.
Bye.
Bye!
Goodbye.
Bye.